There we go. No, so Erev Tov and Bruchim Aboim. We have our weekly story tonight, and following the story, we have our weekly class in Dvar Malchus. But since it's the end, it's the beginning of Rosh of the month of Hebrew month of Adar Sheni. Since we have two Adars this year, this is the beginning of Rosh Chodesh. Today was the beginning of the Rosh Chodesh Aleph Adar Rishon Sheni, excuse me, and so we have to fulfill that which is written, and we're instructed in the Jewish code of law. Misha nichnas Adar marbim besimcha, and so also as we're told, whatever Hashem, whatever the Holy One, blessed be He, commands us to do, He Himself observes, and He observes it first. And therefore, since we are commanded to be besimcha, in joy, He has to be also in joy when we usher in the month of Adar. And together with this, we know that Hashem's joy is an infinite joy. It's a joy that never ends. The joy that never ends is the Geula Hashlema V'Amitis, the true and the complete redemption, and it should be Teichef Umiyad Mamish. Vayipimei Achashverosh, Achashverosh, Vayipimei Achashverosh. Hey, I left me hide to be at good. I left me hide to be at good. Sheba Veslim, Umeya Medina, Sheba Veslim, Umeya Medina, Vaiti Meya Hashvirai, Ruachashvirai, Vaiti Meya Hashvirai, Ruachashvirai, I left me hide to be at good. Melech Meheinu Beyakul Sheba Besimu Meya Medina Sheba Besimu Meya Medina Mishe 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 Nichnas Adar Mishe 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 Nichnas Adar Ya Ya Mishe Nichnas Adar Lamati Besimcha Mishe Nichnas Adar Lamati Besimcha. Next song. Hey, then I then I then I then I then ay ay ay, I say to I you the name of the name. I say to I you the name of 1 second. We're gonna try a another audio technical concept here, and hopefully this will work even better. And we're still recording. Hey, Misha, 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 Nichnas Adar. Marbi, 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 Kesika. Hey, Misha, 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 Nichnas Adar. Marbi, 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 Kesika. Oh, Misha, Nichnas Adar. Oh, Marbi, Kesika. Oh, Misha, Nichnas Adar. Oh, Marbi, Kesika. ליהודים, היי סויבו, בשמחה וסטניקה. 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 גאולה, 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 יחד. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה, כי עשה מושיע אני מאמין, אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח אני מאמין גאולה, 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 יבא. אדוננו ברינו ורבנו המלך המשיח יוי במבוא יחי אדוננו ברינו ורבנו מלך המשיח יוי במבוא אדם hey ay la da 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 ay la da ay la da 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 the base of me the me of the yame no me sin the gain of the wasfo we bomb the base of me the me of the yame no me sin the gain of the wasfo we bomb the base of me the me of the yame no think they'll get the first something Nimeo Diomeino Messei Elkeino Messeo No, now it's time for the story. Oh, hold the screen. Okay, everything is in. Our story starts off in a very happy occasion, at a happy occasion of a bris milah. Everyone is there. Everyone is celebrating. They're passing the baby from hand to hand, as is the custom to have more and more blessings to additional people from the young the little boy that was just born. And finally they come, the bris milah is done, and everyone is so happy besides one individual. There's a woman in the Ezras Noshim. Her name is Sarah M. M is the I see that there's an M over here in the audience also. It's not it's Hashgacha Pratis, but it's not the same M. It's the family name starts with an M, and she has tears coming down her cheeks, and everyone is blessing each other. You know, soon by you, and many more simchas by you, and so on. And they're coming to her and they're blessing her also, because they all know that it's been a long time since her and her husband had any children. They were zeicha, they did merit to have two beautiful girls, but the girls are all grown up, and all the baby things, and the cradle and the toys, everything is all packed up in the attic. And they've gone to many doctors in order to receive advice and instruction and different types of treatments, but everything they tried was to no avail. They for the meantime weren't having any children, and for her, for Sarah in our story, it was one of the most incredible desires that she had, to be able to have a baby boy in the family. Everyone was blessing her, and everyone was giving her smiles, and she couldn't wait for the moment that she would get out of the hall where the bris milah ceremony took place, and she'd be able to get home to lie down on the couch and to just let her tears pour out. Sounds like a pretty gloomy situation, but like all stories, gloomy situations, the clouds part and the sun starts shining. Amongst the things that she heard, our Sarah, she heard also that there is an ability and an opportunity to be able to go into write the Rebbe to write to Lubavitcher Rebbe Melech Ha'Moshiach, Shlita, and to ask for blessings. She didn't do this until now, but she felt that the pressure and the tension was so great that she had to turn to someone and to somewhere in order to go and to alleviate her pain. So she didn't wait for anyone to explain to her. She didn't wait for anyone to tell her how to do and what to do. She immediately sat down in her home and she wrote a short letter to the Rebbe explaining her situation and asking the Rebbe's bracha for a baby boy. She went out and she found herself arriving at the doorstep of the neighborhood Chabad house where she lived. She went in and she asked the person where the Igros Kodesh, the letters of the Rebbe are. We're talking about over 30 volumes of letters of the Rebbe that were collected and bound into volumes. And she went up and she took the first volume that came to her hand. She put the letter that she had written already at home amongst the pages of the volume of the Igros Kodesh, the Rebbe's letters, and she made the proclamation of Yechi Adonenu Moreinu V'Rabbeinu Melech Ha'Moshiach Leilam Voed 3 times, and then she opened up the book where she put her letter. In this place where she had placed the letter, she was amazed, blown away, literally, to see that the Rebbe is giving a blessing. The Rebbe is giving a blessing to a family that had not one boy, but 2 boys. And the Rebbe is blessing the family in honor of the birth of the 2 children, of the 2 boys. And the Rebbe gives a blessing not only for the children, but for the family, that they should have happiness and joy, all the blessings that are connected with family matters, with health, and with livelihood as well. When she went through the letter, she understood that the Rebbe was talking about a halachic issue that the family was asking the Rebbe. And they said that the situation with the children was that one was ready to have a bris milah, but the other one, apparently, the doctor said, was not healthy enough in order to go and to have his bris performed on time the 8th day. And they were asking the Rebbe, what should they do? Should they wait and have the bris of both children, of both boys, together at the same time at a later opportunity, whenever the second son will be healthy, or should they do otherwise? The Rebbe told them that they should not wait, and the moment that the children are ready for their bris milah, the first one definitely should have his bris on time on the 8th day. And whenever the second one is ready, so that should be the immediate time whenever he is up to it and he is healthy enough to be able to have the bris milah performed. Our Sarah is going out of her mind with joy, with happiness, smiling, and she can't keep her simcha inside. She goes home and she tells her husband, and she shares the news that the Rebbe says that they're going to have 2 boys, 2 healthy boys. Her husband, who was not skeptic, and he very much trusted in what his wife was saying and the blessing that the Rebbe gave in the Igros Kodesh, he also celebrated together with her. But for some reason, a month or 2 or 3 went by, and there was no good news. Nothing happened. Nothing going on. Sarah didn't give up hope, and she immediately went again and wrote a letter to the Rebbe and told the Rebbe, listen, Rebbe, you gave me a blessing for 2 boys, to have 2 boys, and I'm not even pregnant yet. So what's going on? I'm asking again, the Rebbe should give me his blessing. She went back to the Chabad house. She put the letter into one of the volumes that she chose uh, by divine providence, but it was at random, as we all do when we choose a volume of the Igros Kodesh from, or if we do it online with the Igrot, igrot.com, which is very convenient. It can in different languages as well. And she made the proclamation of Yechi Adonenu Moreinu V'Rabbeinu Melech Ha'Moshiach Le'olam Voed 3 times. She opened up the Sefer, the book, and the Rebbe writes over there, very interestingly, about Chinuch HaKosher, about kosher and proper education, Jewish education. And she immediately understood that the factor of giving these children proper and kosher Jewish education is perhaps what's holding it up. She shared this with her husband, and they made on the spot, they made a resolution that when the children are born, they're going to go out of their way to make sure to give them the best of kosher and Jewish education that will be available. Well, things as they went progressed, and there were already blossoms of the miracle that were being seen. Sarah went to her doctor in order to have an ultrasound. I mean, not all people go and do this. Some people prefer not to do an ultrasound, but this was what Sarah, under the circumstances that she was going through, she decided to go and to have an ultrasound, and the doctor told her the news. The doctor smiled and he said, "Listen, you're pregnant, Baruch Hashem." She said, "Wow." And the doctor says, "Listen, you're not just pregnant with one child." "Really?" Sarah says. So the doctor says, "Yes. And not only with 2 children. You're pregnant with 3 children." Sarah holds her head and she says, "Unbelievable. I can't believe this. What a miracle." And then the doctor, from what he saw in the ultrasound, tells Sarah, "You're going to have 2 girls and 1 boy." Wow. She claps her hands, and she couldn't hide her disappointment. I mean, she was very happy that she's pregnant and she's going to have children, but she was so disappointed because the Rebbe promised her in the letter that she's going to have 2 boys. And here the doctor's telling her that she's going to have 2 girls and 1 boy, just 1 boy. Sarah decided to strengthen herself and make herself a greater strength in her belief, in her trust in Hashem, and in the blessing that the Rebbe has given her. And whoever she spoke to, wherever she went, she said she's going to have 2 boys, like the Rebbe blessed her. And it's, and her husband says, "Wait a second," but the doctor said, "I don't care what the doctor says. We're going to have 2 boys. The Rebbe blessed us with 2 boys. We're going to have 2 boys." And this is the way it kept on going until the children were born. The children in a good and auspicious time were born, and the first one that came out was a boy. The next one that came out was a girl, and the next one that came out was a boy. She was overjoyed. 2 boys, 1 girl, and the 1 girl, obviously, she joined her older sisters, but this was the miracle of the Rebbe, that she was able to go and to see with her own 2 eyes, and all the family and relatives saw this miracle as well. By the way, one of the boys, for health reasons, had to remain in the hospital. What can you do? And due to the fact that one of the boys had to remain in the hospital, this boy couldn't have his bris performed on time on the 8th day. It had to be postponed, just like the Rebbe spoke about in the letter. And there was no greater joy for Sarah because, first of all, she wasn't surprised that the bris is going to be postponed and only one of the children is going to have his bris on time. But second of all, since the bris has to be postponed, unfortunately, well, these are health reasons, and the Torah tells us that when this is this situation, the bris has to be postponed. But this gave her double her money. She was able to sit down and sit down on the chair of the mother of the bris milah, of the mother of the child, twice. And this gave her even greater happiness and greater joy. Just by the way, the chair of the mother, we're talking about not the chair of Eliyahu Hanavi. That's where the sandak sits with the child that's going to be having the bris. In the women's section, there's a special, honorable, respectable place. That's where the mother sits, and she was zeiche. She had the merit of sitting in the mother's chair not once but twice, Baruch Hashem. And with Hashem's help, just as we saw this miracle being performed for Sarah M, so also we should be able to immediately now see the big miracle and the big happiness and joy of the revelation of the Rebbe Shlita Melech Ha'Moshiach in a good and revealed basis, and it should be mitach simcha v'tuv levav, in a manner of happiness and joy of the heart, b'menuchas hanefesh b'menuchas haguf. It all should be in a manner of tranquility of the soul and the body. And the main thing, it should be teichef umiyad, mamish, 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 immediately now. Yechi Adonenu, Moreinu v'Rabbeinu, HaMelech HaMoshiach, Chai v'Kayom, le'olam vo'ed. Amen.